hi there. Since there was not enough battery in the phone when I filmed, I will just continue keeping a picture up with a Kabbalistic tree of life related to that communication or head card we got there in my last previous video. So I was using the Aleister Crowley's Thoth or Tutis tarot deck, and I started to do a balancing layout. So let's see where it is now here. So for the head, it was 10 of Pentacles, and for the left side, is this even the left side or the right side even? Let's see now. So this will be for the receptive side. The self-worth is Justice card, and then for the which learning processes help me to grow internally is Knight of Swords, and then I think that's where the camera shut down. So then there is across from that card on the other side is how my being appears outwardly, and that's 7 of Cups, and how I deal with the world, my actions, behavior is High Priestess, and then for the last card, the central bottom card, relationship card, and that's 4 of Wands. I think we talked about that though, just briefly maybe. And both the head and the relationship card are positive cards. So the head card, I talked about that, is how I present myself to the world, and the relationship is how do I maintain harmonic, fulfilling, satisfying relationships. And it's fulfillment, so it seemed really good. The only thing that maybe it's things go on very quickly inwardly, and you maybe need to, this is general reading by the way for all of us, so maybe you need to have more exchange with other people. So this how you appear outwardly, it can be, maybe you need to just think about that, because this is not a good appearance, honestly. 7 of Cups here. Yeah. Maybe you don't care because you are so drawn to the inward life, so you don't put much emphasis on the outside. Also, that could be the thing. Yeah. Anyways, I will go on talking about the rest of the cards, and I think I was there, Knight of Swords. I will go back to that and see if I did say all that I need to say there. Let's see. I'm not sure where I was here, honestly. Let's see. I think I will read all of it since I don't remember. The fiery aspect of air, goal-oriented, ambition, flexible intellectual powers, passion, vehemence. I don't know what that is. The Knight of Swords, in his gold-green armor, goes hunting, riding at full gallop. The embodiment of his goal-oriented mental activity. He knows where he is bound, and will not rest until he arrives at his destination. He has remarkable powers of concentration. Thoughts and ideas come to him with lightning speed. He is a master of imaginative and flexible thinking, which he uses to achieve his goals. Gold green armor symbolizes that. The four propellers refer to the four heavenly directions and indicate that the power of thought is bounded neither by time nor space. His strong intellectual determination is unified with a deep emotional perceptiveness. Only goals which are emotionally charged can kindle such passion. Body, intellect, and spirit, the three swallows, are in harmony and fly alongside him. Okay. Both swords, the long one in his right hand and the short one in his left, will be employed equally. They represent two potential energies, yang and male analytical, and yin feminine intuitive. Still, you need to be care more about the outward aspects, which will be needed in the proper balance in order for him to advance. He appears to be one with the galloping horse because of his well-balanced and correctly applied abilities. So you are in a good position now to forge plans, set goals, and bring them to fruition. Do you know your goal? What happens once you achieve it? Imagine how you will best be able to enjoy your success. I know my goal, and I know what I am working towards. Each goal is just a milestone on the way to my ultimate destination. Alright, so... And this card was then about which learning processes help me grow internally. I think it's very much related to that balance. And sometimes when it's very active inwardly, we need to balance it up by being more, intellectually, mentally, more physical, or connect more with relationships or something to balance these things. And I think it's about balancing emotionally here, connecting more with, open up more to people, and also caring about more than ideas and thoughts, also the manifested world, also our own appearance and so on. If we want to reach somewhere, we need to take all these things in consideration. They affect how others perceive us and so on. So even if we don't care much, still others will. So it will bring not a correct reflection of who we are if we don't care about those things. All right. And then the card for how my being appears outwardly. I think I read that wrong before, but anyways, this is the 7 of Cups, as I talked about. Only a little bit, what can you say, not disturbing card, but it really suggests it's change needed there. Venus in Scorpio, overactivity, annoyance, satiety, I don't know how you say, disgust even. What a moment ago was a source of lust and enjoyment has lost now its attractiveness. The blossoms let their heads droop and their flavor has become stale. The emotions are out of balance again, and the indication is that some deep disappointment has still not been resolved. You have tried to cover over old wounds, but the diversionary tactic hasn't helped. After every binge, after every attempt at flight, the leering face of your old problem rises all too clearly before your eyes and colors your experience of the situation gloomier and gloomier. Just thinking about the out of balance emotionally, I saw Cézanne and Sola, that film, today with my brother. It was really a sweet film. Yeah, if you haven't seen it. I never knew that Cézanne was so emotional and that they were good friends. That century to live, it was so romantic, like everything then. Oh my. I want to talk about so many of these things, or just read Wikipedia or something related to these, or keep their paintings or something up, or we'll see if I get there. There are so many beautiful stories of lives, geniuses. So anyway, I was just thinking about that now when it's... Yeah, anyway. It's time to open your eyes and take a look at perhaps a painful reality. Only by perceiving, by recognizing your own inner reality, will you be freed. Every further attempt to avoid it increases the stagnation of your emotional energy. Yeah, you don't... It's about not blocking your own beauty and to spread it in the world. Yeah, and not run from these problems that is deep inside, but to own them and embrace them, then they will heal. Is there some disappointment you have not yet worked out? Have you experienced something that was just a little bit too good? Have you overtaxed yourself or overdone things in any way? And there is a suggestion, therefore I have this deck here again, but now you won't see me pull the card. But here's, I know it's somewhere in some of these cards, so here it is. Draw another card asking the question, how can I change my present situation? And as an affirmation, as I recognize and attempt my shadows, they lose their power. And to me, I really need to stop, although I still keep this whole calorie counting strictly. I keep that, I don't cheat. Still, it happens that I fill it up a little bit with too much things that I can't handle, like sugary stuff of sorts. When I'm around people, I think it's easier to do what they do or something, and I can't fiddle with that, and I will lose. Although I will lose weight, I need the nourishment from other things to fill up the calorie intake, so that's for sure. But now we'll just pull another card here for what was the question. Let's see. I need to think about the question when I pull the card. Let's see. Here it is. How can I change my present situation? And this is for all of us then. And I'm sorry that you can't see what I put, but here's a card. One of Pentacles. Oh, Pentacles. Whoa. Things are falling around here. Oh, read that now. This is a new start as well. Or discs. It's actually called discs here in this deck. Inner and outer richness, great success, unification of the body and soul, material and spirit, heaven and earth, wholeness. Yeah, of course, if we stop running from ourselves. The symbol of the card are arranged in the form of a cross representing the integration of the vertical and horizontal, the inner and the outer, body and soul. And we need to care about both, not just the soul, but also the body. Too long set at odds, meet now in harmonic union. Now the body can be treated as the living temple of the soul. The more deeply we are grounded in our bodies, the fewer difficulties will arise during this integration process. The deeper our roots reach into the earth, the higher the soul will be able to soar. A 7-pointed star and two pentangles, it says here really, whatever, surround the esoteric symbol 1 divided with 666, which represents completion. Tumeta opion, I don't know, means initiation or entrance. Intended here is the possibility of our entrance into new consciousness and readiness for a life which is externally and internally rich. This new consciousness brings with it an attitude of continual development, symbolized by the age rings on the wood. New levels of being are continually being reached, like concentric arches. Each in its turn is discovered, accepted, integrated, and brought toward external expression, like the rings of a tree. This process leads to a real consciousness of the self, a basis for real success. Some teachers will tell us that we can be both inwardly and outwardly rich, that it is not necessary to choose between the two. The inner life is not against the outer. it is important to understand what inner and outer richness really means. Sorry, just need to change. Yeah. Anyways. Many teachers will tell you about this, for if a student is to ever become wholly conscious, you must understand that the outward trappings of poverty do not mean that you are inwardly more aware. The concept of poverty only means that you are not clinging to money to obtain it. Poverty means that you do not own anything, including your memories. However, you can use anything you wish. Once you realize this, you can continue to grow on an inner level, and you can attain the highest consciousness possible. The Ace of Discs mirrors your readiness to live a life that is inwardly and outwardly rich. All that is needed is already at hand. Give yourself up to the fullness of life and learn to use your wings. What areas of your life would you like to make richer? Work intensively on discovering and developing your potential, your inner wealth, but that you already do so, also your outer then. Remain open for every form of enrichment in your life. Wealth is my natural condition. It allows me to express my spiritually and creative potential in this world. Okay. And then we have this card, how I deal with the world, my actions, my behaviors. And there we have the High Priestess. And so for whomever this is, I can relate to this very much. This person is much more focused on the inner world and that. Moon, access to intuitive powers, healing, independence, inner equilibrium, increased self-confidence. The priestess is represented by the moon goddess Isis. She is surrounded by a fine network of light rays, an expression of her spiritual nature. Her essence is unrestricted independence. She is in touch with her intuitive abilities and can trust them completely. She perceives and is connected with her own inner voice, the internal guide and healer. This shows outwardly in her trust in and responsibility to herself. Like the camel which can travel long stretches in the desert without water, you, when you have discovered your own inner spring, also radiate a satisfied sense of self-sufficiency. You find fertile oases, flowers and fruits at the bottom of the card, in the innermost reaches of your being. The more you accept yourself and share with others, the deeper the clarity of your perceptions will become, represented by the crystals on this card. In this deck, the Priestess is one of the strongest cards for balance, equilibrium, and harmony. So you have a lot of this already, because this is a layout that concentrates on balance and harmony. So you have it a lot within. And there is something to adjust with the outer world or how they perceive you, but aside from that, the upper half of her body expresses the feminine receptive. This is accented by the upward swinging lines and the upward pointing crescent moons behind her head. The crown is the moon which receives lights from the sun. From the navel down, her body expresses the mate principle. The lines are straight, dynamic, direct in purpose. The bow and arrow in her lap accentuate this concept. Priestess can indicate extrasensory perception and intuitive abilities such as clairvoyance, telepathy, creative visualization, empathy, intuitive knowledge, and healing powers. These abilities arise in harmony with and in service to the ultimate cosmic laws. You now have access to your intuitive powers. Develop them more fully. Guard your independence. Are there areas in your life in which you allow others to influence you rather than trusting your own intuition? Seek out water as often as you can. Meditate near water and learn from it as much as you can. I trust my intuitive abilities. And then for the last card, I'm quite sure that I already read about the head communication there. That would be relationships, and how do I maintain harmonic, fulfilling, satisfying relationships? And that's 4 of Wands. Venus in Aries. Completion, unity, possibility of new beginnings. The circle is full, all contradictions and opposites come together and connect at the center. The harmony between male and female, active and passive, ram and dove, has returned. The fire of creativity is kindled by this occurrence. So it's very much balancing the cards, very much so, yeah. It's surprisingly much about that which is already balanced in your life and in yourself. Venus, symbol of beauty and love, combines with Aries, the principle of new beginnings. The heart pushes forth and seeks the development of the beautiful in new directions. Before the new can arise, the old must be complete. The conflict between opposites must be resolved in a way which will further you on the way toward your highest goal. Tension in relationships can work positively when the individuality of each partner is recognized and respected. Yeah, it doesn't have to be bad that there is some tension there. This makes it possible for you to support one another in moving forwards. Something beautiful is making its way into your relationships. You may notice it first as established conditions are called into question and discussed openly. Clarifying the old is a prerequisite for a new one, as a new beginning. Are you prepared to accept your partner as she or he is in spite of your differences? What areas are in urgent need of clarification or resolution? If there is some tension between you and someone else, now is a good time to clarify and resolve the interaction and complete the old. Completing the old frees me for the new. Yeah, I can totally relate to some of these things, for sure. And also sometimes you just have to complete it yourself. I mean, you have to decide how to... it's good to at least try to open up if you really care for someone and so on, and want that to be an open and honest relationship. Then you can kind of suggest that. But if it's only from one end, it's just no point. At least I don't consider that so. If I know someone is lying to me, well, I can decide not to have anything to do with that person, or understand that, well, that's how it is, you know. Of course, my trust wouldn't be as much, but as maybe if they didn't. But at the same time, it's their choice, and if I still feel it gives me something to stay connected, then I would. But I wouldn't push it forward, or probably I wouldn't. When I was younger, I would. But because I already know. And if they don't want to share that with me, I wouldn't let them know that, honestly. It's up to them. But that kind of suck also. I mean, especially as a psychic or so on, you know a lot more. And sometimes you know for a long time, but after a while you start to care about the situation more, and you then need to clarify it, it feels like. But still, it needs to be clarified from two ends in a relationship, so yeah. But this suggests to do so, and I have tried in some ways related to someone here, but I need to just accept what is in that case. That's how it is. This person decided to lie to me for some reason. And I feel better knowing that, though. Then I can decide how close I want that person or not. Yeah. I hope this gave you all something. I will just end before someone show up here soon, so it won't be interrupted again. Yeah, take care. And there is also a layout with this Kabbalistic Tree of Life. There are many layouts like this. And honestly, I know a few of these kinds of layouts that are quite different, although they use the Kabbalistic Tree of Life for the layouts. And as many of you probably know, you can also, some of the cards are related to some of these positions in themselves. So it's very interesting if you go deeper into it. I haven't done so much, but I like it as a layout. It's clarifying, I feel. So if anyone wants me to, let me know. I can use that layout also. Those coins or discs in the first position there about communication were positioned in the shape of this Tree of Life. So okay, I will just end now, and that's also number 10, a new beginning and all that. So yeah, much love for now, and talk to you soon.